Hello, in this overview I just want to show you a great new feature that we've got. We've been building in conjunction with the University of Surrey for a research project about spatial awareness. And I just wanted to show you how it works now. This is a game called Blocs and a question type called Blocs as well. So I'm going to create a new question collection. I'm going to call this Blocs test. Click continue. And here I am in my normal question creation interface, and I'm going to click on create question, and instead of one of the other questions I'm going to go right to the bottom here and click on blocks question and click create. And you'll notice it's got a white button, and that's because it acts slightly differently to the other ones in that it only works with the Blocks app. So I'm going to click on that now anyway. And it comes up with some information about the fact that this is actually one situation on oodlü where we do share anonymous data with University of Surrey. So obviously you need to be conscious and happy with that before you continue using this. Here's the app. This is the builder, at least anyway. And here basically you build yourself a blocks diagram. And you can do any configuration you like. On the left hand side here you've got the different kinds of blocks that you've got available, and you can click on settings to choose what colours you want and how many of them you want to have, and you can say that you're not going to even include those in the question. So you can basically specify what kind of blocks are available to the students. So let's say we've got 5 of these blue ones and maybe 0 of those and 0 of those. So we've only got 5 of those blue ones there, for example. Okay, and that means that I can only drop 5 blue blocks onto the screen, but I'm not going to do that right away. So you can configure them, and you can scroll through the different colours to choose the different colour of block that you might want to use when you're building your blocks. And basically you're building a question. So the idea is that you're going to build a block diagram by dragging these blocks down onto the workspace like this, and you can lay it out in any way you want really. And you can rotate it and move it. And when you've got to a point where you think you've got a diagram that the students would enjoy building, you can just click on save. But before I do that, I'm just going to show you at the bottom here there are 2 options. There's one which is practice question and one which test question. A practice question is sort of a bit like formative mode, only that it doesn't actually give you feedback, but it does give you another go at having a go at the question again. So with a practice question, it'll deliver the question once, and if you get it wrong, it'll then deliver it again immediately afterwards. With the test question, it will just deliver it and move on. Okay, so I'm just going to, if I want to now, I can take a screenshot. If I click on snapshot, it will take a snapshot. I can I can reset the whole thing, or I can undo what I've been doing. And if I want to as well, if I've got a block that I wish to delete, I can select it and I can delete it. Yeah, I've got a little bit of a bug there actually. I can click it and rotate it as well if I wish to. In fact, that one doesn't do much when you rotate it because it's square anyway, but this one does, for example. Okay, and when you've done that, you can then click on save, and that will take a few seconds to do it, because what it's doing is generating a preview image now, and that's now saved the blocks question type. And if I click on that now, you'll see that it's got an exploded diagram of the blocks setup that I've just created. And it's got some lines to kind of indicate roughly where the nobbins go. And so that's the question, and that's now ready to set to students. So I can, if I want to, I can just go to, and you can add as many of those as you want. In fact, I'll add another one quickly now. Let's just do that quickly. So let's just add a very, very simple one like that, just for the sake of speed. Okay, I'll click on save for that. Okay, that's created the second diagram. There it is. Okay, now if I want to, I can set that to a group. So I'm going to set that to, I'm going to set it to my class 4B here. And that means if I log in as any student in class 4B and I go to the Blocks app, this will be set to them. So one of the quirks of this particular question type is that because we've only got one app in here that deals with these question types, it's not quite the same as the other games in that it basically, the latest Blocks the latest question collection that contains Blocks questions will be the one that students see. So just be aware of that when you do it. So I'm going to go into my manage groups area, and I'm going to log in as one of my students. So I can go to here and just log in as this student, and that'll log me in as that student. And now if this now I'm logged in as this student, I can go to the other stuff area. In fact, at the top here, my blocks test is listed in the question collection that is set to me as a student. And if I click on play here, it'll tell you that it's a slightly strange type of question and it needs to go to the Blocks app, and you can click on continue. But if you do that, it takes you and it gives you the same disclaimer again about the usage. But you can actually get to it as well. If I just go to the dashboard, you can actually go to it just by clicking on other stuff as well. Other stuff takes you to our other stuff section. Oh, actually it's not showing, it should be. Let me just refresh that for a moment. Oh, there we go. Yes, sorry, that's just it's just caching the older version on this machine. The blocks stuff appears here as well. And one of the bonuses with this, and this appears in the teacher's interface as well, is that you can also share this actually. If you click on the share button, it'll give you a share link, and you can copy and paste that share link and share it with someone else. And when you do that, that allows someone to go to the public version of it, which is basically just doesn't save any data, doesn't do anything particularly. Okay, so now if I just go into this Blocks app by clicking on the icon now, as a student, it's going to load up the data which, and you have to agree here, which I created just now as a teacher. So here is the blocks diagram. That was the first one we did. And now my task as a student is to try and rebuild that task. So if I click on this image, it scales it down. The first thing I had was one of these, and then I had one of these, I think was it. No, sorry, I tell a lie. It was there, and we had one of these. And if it doesn't like go in perfectly, it's just because it's not quite, you're not quite seeing all the bits. So you can rotate it and place it, and it'll be a little bit, yeah, it'll go in nicely. Okay, and then we had one of these, which was doing that, and I think I had one of these, which we then rotated and placed like that. Okay, so that's, I think that's the diagram that we were after, and I can click on Finish Question, and now it shows me the next question. And you'll see if you do, I shan't show you this actually because it'll take a bit of time to do, but in the analytics it gives you a full step through of exactly what happened as the student did this. If actually, maybe I will show you that actually. Okay, so let's just build this as well. Okay, and I'm going to click on Finish Question. Now it said all questions are complete. So now I'm going to log out, and I'm going to log in as myself again. I'm just going to pause the video for a moment while I do this. Okay, so I've now logged in, and now if I wish to, I can go to my analytics area, and I can find, if I can actually find this particular one, I can go to question collections and find the blocks test question, and this will give me details as to exactly what's happened. So here I've just gone into my analytics area, class 4B, and I've done it by going into question collections and then select the block test question collection. And if I click on details in here, it will load up the, you can see the diagram that was being built in each of these questions that we've got details here for, and we've got some performance statistics and stuff in there as well. But if I dig deeper down into here, I can go all the way down to a position where it actually shows you the blocks diagram again. So it shows you what the question was, and here you can step through the steps that were taken by the student to build that blocks diagram, so you can get a really clear idea of exactly what they were doing and how. So that's basically the blocks diagram, the block system. But there's one other mode that you should know about, and this is if you don't have any question collections set to students which have blocks questions in them, then by default the blocks app in the my other stuff area here will contain will work in freeform mode. So let's have a look at that now. As a teacher, when I play, I don't actually get set questions, and so this is in freeform mode, just as a student would see it if they weren't set any. So here it's a bit like the question creation interface, only it's not for creating questions, it's just for building models. So you might say to the student, build a model of a table, or build a model of a tree, or something like that, and then they could go and build one freeform without any particular target model to do. It's just to get an idea of how they would go about doing that. You can read a lot more about this on the Surrey research site, which there is a link for in the other stuff area. So in this mode, you can build your models as you did before, just the same kind of thing. And when you've built your model, you can take a snapshot or whatever, or you can just click on Finished. When you click on Finished, it says, thank you, your model has been saved. And you may notice this time we've got a Load Existing Models button, because if I click on that button there, it shows me my models. Okay, so I can click on my models, and I can see the models that I built, which in this case is just that one model that I just built just now. And if I want to, I can view the model, and it'll load it, and there it is. And I can go through the steps that I took to build it. And if I just go back to load existing models again, as a teacher, you'll notice. None of my students have built them. But if I had students who have built freeform models, they would appear in here, and I could load the students' freeform models in here to view what they've been doing as well. So you can come at it from both angles. Anyway, I hope that's useful, and we very much look forward to hearing your feedback, and thank you very much.